Yep. I was also stranded at an airport for 12 hours. We're going to talk about it. Before that, hey everybody, I'm Dwaynia. Welcome to my channel. I am doing this weekly check-in where I kind of hold myself accountable in my business and hold you accountable too. Every week I come on here, talk about the things that happen in my business and a little personal. And I try to keep you up to speed with what's going on in Canadian small business women. I like to start my videos by rating my week. Yeah. So my week last week, I could rate it a 5, but I'm not because there were some not so good, but there were some greats as well. So I am going to rate my week at 8.5. And if you've been on my Instagram, you're probably going to be shocked that I'm rating it at 8.5 because you'd expect me to rate it like a 3. I don't know where to start. I am going to start with, I'm going to start with the not so great news. And then I'm going to go into a couple of really good news. And then I'm going to tell you the great news. Okay? Not so good news. I was supposed to go on a lovely weekend getaway with my high school friends from New York to Puerto Rico. Let me tell you the full story. That led me to no sleep for 24 hours and being stuck in an airport for 12. Friday came. I woke up at about 3:30-ish, 3:30, and got ready to go to the airport here in Toronto. Got to the airport at 4:30, went through U.S. Immigration, all that stuff. Went to that wing of the airport, which I'm going to need y'all to do better on that wing of the airport because there's really nothing there. One Starbucks, one sit-down restaurant. We'll talk about that. Got there, and my flight was supposed to take off. My friends booked my flight, and they booked me on United. But if you know me, I'm an Air Canada girl. I do love Air Canada. Love, 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 love Air Canada. I was supposed to fly United from Toronto to Chicago, and then from Chicago to Puerto Rico, to San Juan. Fine. My flight was at 7 a.m. Okay. At about 6:15, we get this announcement saying that our flight's canceled. Come to the desk. So, mad dash to the desk. I was like 10th in line. It was taking probably 30 minutes for each person to go through. And in this time, we're seeing that a lot of flights are canceled. But the only flights that were taking off were Air Canada flights. So Delta is grounded, American's grounded, United is grounded. And we're looking up on the news and we're seeing all this stuff about, a patch update that's affecting people around the world. And in the same vein, I'm getting messages from a friend of mine who is in Australia on business, and she wanted to go travel to the Sunshine Coast. She's like, my flight's canceled. I'm like, crap, it's affecting everyone around the world. So as the news is coming in, I'm inching closer and closer and closer to the desk. And I finally get through. And the agent was like, okay, what we can do is we can put you on an Air Canada flight that will take you to Newark. Once you get to Newark, you can take a United flight at 8 p.m. straight to Puerto Rico. I'm like, I'm missing an entire day, but I'll take it because I really wanted to see my friends. Fine. This flight to Newark wasn't going to leave until 11:30. Now I have hours in Pearson that I'm waiting. In the meantime, I decided go get a Starbucks, blah, blah, blah. Then I got hungry, decided I'll go get something to eat at the one lonely restaurant. Let me tell you something. First of all, I ordered an omelet with hash browns and toast. I got my omelet. It looked like they gave me the entire carton of eggs. It was massive. I got my hash browns. It was like tater tots, and it looks like they gave me the entire package of tater tots. Talk about food waste, because 2/3 of that went to the garbage. It was a lot of food, but whatever. Eventually, I got on my flight to Newark. Newark Airport, lovely, love it. It's massive. Love it though. I felt like I was in a mall. There was nothing, I couldn't be bored. But it was a lot of confusion because it is the United hub, but If you need assistance, you need to call United or do live chats or anything like that. People there weren't really able to help you with a lot, like the rebooking and all that stuff. They want you to call because, and I understand because the gate agents who are there to kind of help board whatever flights were managing to take off, which really wasn't anything. JetBlue was taking off. Like I said, Air Canada was taking off. So in the same vein, I decided, let me call United because I saw that there was a JetBlue flight that was leaving earlier. I called. They told me they're not a Star Alliance partner, so we can't put you on there, blah, 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 blah. Fine. I'm still just now going to sit in this airport for 7 hours until my flight. So I decided to call and just see how full my flight is, make sure I'm on a seat because I got a ticket, but it didn't have a seat assigned to me. So after being on the phone with an agent for an hour and a half or so, this agent kept putting me on hold, going, "Oh, I just need to figure something out. I need to figure something out." And I'm like, I am on this flight, right? I do have a seat on this flight. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're on the flight. You're on the flight. I'm just trying to figure out something with the seating. Okay, fine. I asked again and I asked again. Then he got upset with me and, was started yelling and asking me why I'm asking him if I have a seat on the flight. Okay. I had to remind him that he's in customer service and he needed to pipe down, and I'm not attacking him. I just wanted to confirm. Well, got off the phone with him, got an update on my app. United app is telling me that my flight is now the next day. I'm like, this man booted me off the flight. I knew something was wrong. I had to call United again. And then they're telling me, oh, the flight's full. So I open the app and I'm looking for the flight. I said, no, the flight's not full. I see seats. Then miraculously, they found a seat and put me back on the original flight that's supposed to leave at 7:58 p.m. Okay. I also had to beg the agent on the phone for food vouchers. Isn't that crazy? Flight's been delayed, all this hoopla, and you're not giving me food vouchers. I have to tell you to give me food vouchers, and you have to get approval from your supervisor. No, sir. So eventually I got my vouchers, got something to eat, relaxed, met an amazing family. They were so cool. It was them and their kids. They were trying to travel to Chicago for a wedding. So we kind of just hung out together for the entire time. Then at 7, I get a notification. My flight's now delayed till 9 something. Then at 8, I get a notification. My flight's now delayed till 10 something. At this point, I'm so exhausted. Then my flight got delayed again until 11:58 or something like that. Then at like 11, my flight's now canceled. So this entire time that I'm sitting in the airport, I could have gone about my business and, had big fun, just running around the city, checking out my old stomping grounds, you know, doing what I want to do. But I was in the airport. I was chill because, like I said, airport, it was entertaining. There was stuff to do. There was ample food, drinks, shops. You can just walk around forever. I did have a carry-on, but it was fine. Okay, so at this point, my flight's canceled. I sat there for about, 30 minutes or so, just trying to gather my thoughts, figuring out what to do. Called United because no agent there could help me again. And I just pretty much told them, fly me home because there's no point in me trying to get to my destination. So I told them to put me on Air Canada as well. They told me, oh, the transit time is minimum 8 hours because we only are seeing flights that have stopovers. I'm like, I'm not going to take an 8 hour transit time for a 1.5 hour flight. Like, find me a direct flight. They couldn't find one from Newark, blah, 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 blah. So they hung up again and decided to just think this through because at this point, I've been awake for 22 hours, maybe. Yes. And I've been at the airport for 12. So I called him back and I said, you know what? We're in the tri-state area. There's plenty of airports. Check JFK, check LaGuardia. I need a direct flight back to Toronto. Eventually, they found me a flight for Saturday afternoon at 2. I told them to book me on it. Life's good. Now, my next task was finding a hotel for the rest of the night because I was not going to sleep in the airport. That took a while, took a lot of phone calls because, as you can imagine, there are a lot of people who are in the same scenario. The other thing too, they were trying to convince people to can't like to get a refund from the carrier. And there were so many people who, booked their flight to Puerto Rico. They were all huddled up trying to figure out what to do. And they're like, oh, you should they will offer a refund, take the refund. I had to go and interject. I told them because all the flights I've been checking, the flights that are supposed to be $300 are now like $1,300, $1,500. So they'll give you back your $300, but when you need to book again for the next day or the day after, it's going to be an astronomical fee. No, tell them to rebook you themselves. Don't cancel. Anyway, I didn't like that hustle that they were trying to pull. Okay, so I finally found a place that said they had rooms, and it was kind of in the financial district of Newark, which is good. So I called them. They're like, yes, they have rooms. I'm like, do you have an airport shuttle? They said, yes. I had to book it. It took me like 20 minutes to get to the shuttle spot. As I'm waiting for the shuttle, I called them back, gave them my last name, like, do not give away my room. Good thing I did all that because as soon as I got there, booked my room, people were calling. They're like, we have no more rooms. So this is at like 2 something. I finally got a room. And literally, as I'm going to my room, they're finishing cleaning my room. Like I had to tell the guy, the bed is good, the bathroom's good. Okay, that's fine, cool. It's like I just want to do the floor. Yeah, don't care. I'm tired. Like it's okay. Don't worry about it. All right. I finally get in, like a shower, exhale a little bit, just settle myself. And at this point, I'm awake for damn near 24 hours, right? But it was quite the ordeal. The next day, I woke up, tried to get an Uber because now I have to get from Newark, New Jersey to LaGuardia, which is in Queens. And if you know anything, when it comes to Jersey, a lot of people don't like to drive in the city. So every Uber I was trying to book, they go, oh, where are you going? I'm like, oh, LaGuardia. Oh, sorry. They cancel. Next one. Are you headed into the city? Yes, because it depends on the Uber level you have. You can see the destination or not. Are you heading to the city? Yes. Sorry, cancel. And finally, I got this guy who pulled up 2 minutes later, and he was an amazing Uber driver. I was so thankful for him. He got me to LaGuardia. I checked in. Everything went smoothly, and I finally made it home after 5 p.m. on Saturday. Needless to say, I was exhausted. I was sad that I didn't get to see my friends, but you know what? What can I do now? It is what it is, right? So I was looking forward to like a nice little beach getaway. I lost some money in the process. Not happy about it, but again, I'm just going to take it for what it is. So that was my bad news. If that's all that my bad news is, then if I'm putting things into perspective, I've had a pretty good week, right? All right, so this pivot from the bad stuff to now the stuff that I got done. I did win back a day. So on Sunday, I sat down and updated all of those Giphy codes into my QuickBooks. I think I got the hang of it. I think I'm 90% done that because once I'm done that, I just have to do some reconciliation. And then boom, I'm finally done all the stuff that I'm mad late for taxes, but it's fine. I need to do it right the first time. So almost checked that off the list. I can't get the full check, but I can get the downward part and a little bit of the up. Okay? All right. The other thing that happened, I'm giving you the good news, and I'll give you the great one at the end. The other thing that happened is I had a really good meeting with my intern, and she is really working on getting all of the verbiage together for our emails and our resources for our accelerator. And we have quite a few people who've applied to be facilitators. Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I am going to start getting back to people this week. It is my goal to start sending out emails, getting back to people to get the ball rolling so that we can get recordings together. The other thing is, this girl, remember I told you there was something I wanted to tell you, but it wasn't really official yet. But I am going to be one of the speakers for the Run for the Cure in the Toronto edition. And I'm very, very honored to be able to share my breast cancer story because, year over year when I've been to the Run for the Cure, it's uh it's like I have joy, but I have a high level of anxiety, a high level of like gratitude, but also it's a lot to take in to see how many people are out in support of survivors and people who are still going through it, or because it's like everyone that has been touched by cancer, right? So I'm very honored to be able to share my story with the people who will be at the Toronto edition of CIBC Run for the Cure. So we'll have more information soon, but I had to share it. I'm so excited. Um, I also just finished a call. I'm possibly going to be a part of a conference that's coming up in September. I might be able to share more with you next week. We'll see. So this is the good news. And I am going to end this on the great news. The great news is I just got my clean bill of health for my 4th year post cancer. The past month has been a little bit stressful for me because I went for my regularly scheduled mammogram and then they called me back to come back in for another mammogram and for an ultrasound. So you can only imagine how nervous I was because the goal is to get to that 5-year mark, because if you get to that 5-year mark without recurrence, it drastically drops the rate of recurrence. It doesn't make it zero, but it drastically drops it where, you can exhale for a little bit. So to imagine that I'm waiting to get my 4th year clean bill of health and I'm being called back for more tests, it rocked me. It really did. So I had to wait until I saw my oncologist to really get her stamp of approval. And I did. And I'm so, so happy. Like, I cried. I cried sitting down in her office because I was so nervous because who wants to go through that shit again? Nobody. Right? As much as I'm thankful and as much as the first experience was just an interesting experience, I didn't look at it as a bad experience. I don't want to do it again. So I was just very thankful. So that's why, being able to share my story anytime I can, I do it. I mean, I have a whole book right there. Tomorrow's another day, sharing my story. So that's been my week. And this week I am just looking forward to I'm going to go have some fun. I'm going to go out a little bit, but I'm going to email all the potential facilitators to get the ball rolling, promising on that. I do have another survey to send out. I'm going to try to send it out tomorrow. I also have to finish entering these Giphy codes. So next time I speak to you all, I need to finish entering the Giphy codes and hopefully running the report, reconciling and running the reports. That would be great because the Giphy codes are the hard part for me. I feel like I can reconcile. I shouldn't say that too quickly because I am not an accountant, but I feel like I can do it. I had some good guidance. I did. But yes, please let me know. Were you stranded as well? Did you have any hiccups? Did someone rob you of your vacation because of this Microsoft situation? Let me know your goals for the week. I'll be back next week. Bye.